Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
It is Tuesday, the 10th day of May, 2011, on this live Tuesday edition. Everything is coming together, confirming that our analysis of the globalist takeover of our country and the rest of the planet has been absolutely spot on. Now, that wasn't hard. Through the different executive orders, congressional legislation, UN reports, Pentagon training, telecommunications acts, we have been able to read what they were setting up, what they were deploying. Patriot Act 1 and 2, the John Warner Defense Authorization Act, the Enemy Combatant Designation, the Military Commissions Act. All of this is crystal clear. All we had to do was actually read it and look at it and see what the big mega banks that have captured the United States through fraud and propaganda have done in other nations, and then add a 21st century overlay to that, and we have exactly what is going to happen. Exactly what is going to happen. Exactly. And I'm going to attempt to not just cover the first article and then spin out in rage and anger. I may have to turn off the big computer screen over here, though, because it scrolls through Infowars headlines. It has Infowars.com up on the screen so I can surf news. And when Chucky Schumer's face comes up, or Obama's face comes up, or the fake bin Laden photos come up, or articles about internal passports come up, it begins to drive me into a frustrated rage. Last night I went and saw my daughter do her end-of-class gymnastics award ceremony, and I couldn't quit thinking about how innocent she was, how innocent the other children were, how innocent-looking the adults were, and how they're like children and have no idea what has been set up in and around us. I want to protect people. I want to be free. I want to be treated with dignity. And I want my Bill of Rights and my Constitution, and I'm going to fight for it. Then I went to dinner with friends and literally couldn't even focus on just having fun conversation because all I'm thinking about is what's happening. 9/11 was only a preparatory phase. They've built their police state in the last 10 years. Now they're getting ready to go into high gear. Continuity of agenda between both political parties, and they're now going into warp. Warp. Now, we come back from break. Again, I wrote about this 15 years ago. I wrote about this 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and 4 months ago, and again 2 months ago, and then again last month. Here's the article. Obama launches total media takeover system. And I wrote this article with Kurt Nimmo on February 8th, 2001, a few months ago. Here's another article. A video I cut with the same headline, Obama launches total takeover of media, emergency alert system. Executive Order 10995 now being implemented incrementally. It's Red Dawn in slow motion. That's my YouTube video we played here. Back in February 8th, I screamed, red alert, red alert. They're rolling out this system. They're rolling out a new terror alert system that will be individually tailored to your phone, to your computer. It will commandeer your systems. Here it is, now announced today in their beta testing zones of New York City, L.A., and other areas. Right as they announce, oh, we like Chucky Schumer's idea, no law needed, to roll out TSA at Amtrak. They've already been there for 8 years. Now they're rolling out at DART in Dallas. They're rolling out everywhere. Checkpoints on highways. The feds are training the local police to do this. It is martial law without the announcement of martial law. So please listen to me. And you're like, well, so what if it's martial law? What does it mean to be shaken down? Well, next comes they check your ID and go ahead and knock you on the head and drag you off to a van, which they did beta testing 2 years in Pittsburgh, last year in Canada, with vans pulling up, grabbing people and putting them in vans to terrorize the public and test how the media would respond. They're testing it all. A day that will live in infamy. every day henceforward is only going to get more intense, more insane. We are on the verge of massive false flag staged terror attacks, self-inflicted wounds here in the United States and in Europe as a pretext to launch what could trigger World War III military attacks on Iran and Pakistan. As we've been predicting in the last 2 months, a month ago, an admitted CIA agent was caught reportedly trying to deliver uranium to Taliban in Pakistan to be blamed on the Pakistani government. This staged bin Laden raid 9 days ago is part 2 of that frame-up operation. We are going to be breaking it all down today, and I want to get into that article from yesterday with some of the latest developments by Paul Joseph Watson that I swore to get to and didn't. 10 facts that prove that the bin Laden fable is a contrived hoax. So we will make good on that promise to get through this important boil down. Also, that obviously integrates in with the new national polls that are out. Poll reveals most mistrust bin Laden assassination story. And they have polls out breaking that down. We also have an Infowars poll showing 90% of 35,383 votes. 10% believe that they did kill bin Laden, 4,084, but there are other, quote, scientific polls showing a lot of people are officially questioning it. And I've also heard that across talk radio with many of the callers, the majority of callers, and just talking to friends, family, neighbors. They say people that aren't even aware of the whole New World Order system are saying this is wag the dog. So we're going to be going over some of that as well today. But for those that ever ask, why would government stage a terror attack or allow terrorists to attack us or stage the fake killing of a top terrorist, it's because they get more power and control out of it. Why did Hitler burn his own Reichstag? As an excuse to clamp down in Germany. And last Sunday night, not this Sunday, but the Sunday before last, we put out an article Sunday evening within 2 hours of Obama's announcement, breaking down the fact that you watch, the war on terror isn't going to go away. It's going to get worse, and it's really a war on your liberties, on your freedoms, and on the Bill of Rights, Constitution, Declaration of Independence. And that has since happened. Now, let me calmly just tell you that Jesse Ventura obviously wasn't going to be back doing media in the U.S. for a few weeks. But we got contacted yesterday by his folks saying that obviously Ventura wants to comment on the whole bin Laden situation. And so he's doing some of the only interviews today via phone from Mexico. And he's scheduled to be joining us coming up in the next hour. I also need to call Dr. Steve Pachenik back and set him up the next few days to respond to the latest fake videos they've released. Again, of those videos, most of the new videos they released on record. Paul Watson did articles Friday and over the weekend detailing that they were old videos, and he shows examples of them being the exact same videos, except these new videos have the audio cut out because it'd be a little too embarrassing if they had the same audio as 4-year-old videos released 4 years ago of the unaging bin Laden. He never ages either. So we're going to be breaking that down today. Also, the economy. And Obama is in Texas. He's in El Paso, just got done giving a speech. He's scheduled to fly Air Force One to Austin today, arriving at about 4. He drives right by our office when he lands. They'll be, of course, shutting down the highway for his imperial leader to the imperial frontman puppet. The curtain, so we don't see what's going on behind the curtain with the private Federal Reserve, Goldman Sachs, J.P. Morgan, Bank of England, the fraudulent hijackers of America. He'll be arriving here and giving a speech at a private fundraiser from, 5 to 6 o'clock at the W Hotel. Why should I even go down there and bullhorn him when I can just do a YouTube video and point out the lies and corruption and reach 500,000 people in 2 days, 1 million in a week? 2 million in a month. You see, the internet's very powerful. We have seized control of it. The alternative media, 2 years ago, they put out big actuaries breaking down that alternative media, when put together, was bigger than the entire dinosaur, corporate, lapdog, prostitute, whore media. And so now we enter into the big report for today before I get into all the latest bin Laden hoax info and counter all the new lies that they brought in for the previous lies of last week. And again, this is not horn tooting. If you went and did the research we've done and read our articles and followed the hyperlinks to the executive orders, to the Telecommunications Act, to the John Warner Defense Authorization Act, to the Enemy Combatant Act, if you read what industry has been ordered to set up and what the big mega Apples and Googles and AT&Ts and Verizons who chair the Internet 2 meetings, now going on for 11 years, these minutes are all public. And they openly say, we're seizing the web, we're going to shut off all the alternative media, you'll have a few thousand sites you can go to, owned and controlled by us, university, government, and Fortune 100, and that's it. This has all been announced for 11 years. We've written articles in the hundreds. Some years it's in the hundreds. Warning you, breaking down every facet, showing you where they say it, showing you, telling you exactly how they're going to roll it out incrementally to condition you. Now, I've always told you, it's a red herring to say it's an internet kill switch. That's too simple. Yes, they could shut the internet off. DARPA and the Pentagon designed it. But researchers, programmers, consumers designed it and paid for it and innovated it and made it what it is today. Now the infrastructure is built, but the kernel is DARPA, military-industrial complex designed. That's the joke, www. Not World Wide Web, worldwide wiretap. But it is a web of control and surveillance. But going back to the 60s and then the 70s when they started calling it World Wide Web, it was an inside joke. This is in the mainline history of the Internet, that it's the worldwide wiretap. So it's a double-edged sword. It can be used by the people to empower, enlighten, inform. It can be used to search information greater than all the libraries in history put together. And the system has allowed it to grow until it's ubiquitous and wired into everything and absolutely essential for our society, our industry, our culture. Now that we are wedded to it at the hip, like Siamese twins, now they are going to remove one edge of the sword, and they're already blunting it, and expand the other side, which is it being a one-way conduit for establishment, prostitute, government, Federal Reserve financed. We learned about that in the last few months. I told you about it years ago, but now it's declassified. That billions of dollars to mainstream media, newspapers, MSNBC, CNN, CIA Black Ops, WorldNet Daily had that 13 years ago, running CNN, just total control. Okay? And the military itself and the PSYOPs works for Wall Street, themselves working for the big offshore banks that own Wall Street, and that came out 2 months ago in the Bloomberg documents and others when they sued and got it, that almost all the money went offshore to foreign banks and the domestic money went to media to hold you down, keep you dumb. But they're losing. And so the Internet is not going to be killed. It's going to be changed, and it's going to become mainly a one-way system. And this has already been announced. And I told you they would roll it out first for hurricanes and disasters. Oh, we're going to break in and take over your cell phone. Oh, we're going to break in, and Obama has a kill switch where only government messages will go over the web during a anthrax or smallpox attack or during a nuclear attack. But see, they'll be the ones that engage in the attack to then set the precedent for this. And so what's happening is not a takeover of just the web. It is a total takeover of the entire infrastructure of media. Now, they already had EAS since the 50s, but in 96, hardwired into all UHF, VHF, cable, AM, FM, high def now, all telecommunications hubs, all systems, entire floors, NSA run, everything wired through it, snooping on all of it. Again, I told you this 16 years ago. It's all in the documents. 3 years ago, the AT&T exec in San Francisco went public. They whitewashed it, but it was exactly as we told you because the blueprint to fund it and legalize it was all there. I told you they're listening to all your